Here are 10 such figures who are widely recognized as having made significant contributions to ancient Greek culture and history. Socrates, a famous philosopher who is considered one of the founders of Western philosophy. Aristotle, another famous philosopher who is known for his work in logic, metaphysics, and ethics. Homer, a poet who wrote the epic poems The Iliad and the Odyssey. Alexander the Great, a military leader who conquered much of the known world and spread Greek culture throughout his empire. Pythagoras, a mathematician and philosopher who is known for his work in geometry and number theory. Herodotus, a historian who is known as the father of history for his detailed accounts of ancient events. Euclid, a mathematician who is known for his work in geometry and for writing The Elements, a seminal work in the history of mathematics. Plato, a philosopher who was a student of Socrates and is known for his work on metaphysics and ethics. Archimedes, a mathematician, physicist, and engineer who made important contributions to the field of mechanics and invented many innovative machines. Sophocles, a playwright who wrote many famous tragedies, including Oedipus Rex and Antigone. These are just a few of the many influential figures from ancient Greece, who are widely recognized as having made significant contributions to Western culture and civilization. Now we learn more. For Socrates was a Greek philosopher who lived in Athens in the 5th century BCE. He is widely regarded as one of the most important figures in the history of Western philosophy, and his teachings and methods have had a profound influence on the development of philosophical thought. One of the things that made Socrates unique was his approach to philosophy. Rather than writing down his thoughts and ideas, Socrates engaged in dialogues with his fellow Athenians, asking them questions and challenging their assumptions in order to arrive at a better understanding of the world around them. This method of inquiry, which is now known as the Socratic method, continues to be used by philosophers and educators to this day. In his dialogues, Socrates explored a wide range of philosophical topics, including ethics, politics, and the nature of knowledge itself. One of his most famous statements is, "I know that I am intelligent, because I know that I know nothing." This statement reflects Socrates' belief in the importance of questioning one's assumptions and remaining open to new ideas and perspectives. Socrates was also known for his commitment to moral and ethical principles. He believed that the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom was intimately connected with living a virtuous life, and that the goal of philosophy was not just to understand the world, but to improve it. Unfortunately, Socrates' commitment to questioning authority and challenging the assumptions of those in power put him at odds with the political authorities of his time. In 399 BCE, he was charged with corrupting the youth and impiety, and was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock. Despite his tragic end, Socrates' legacy continues to inspire philosophers and thinkers to this day. In conclusion, Socrates was an innovative and influential philosopher who remains a powerful figure in the history of Western thought. His method of inquiry and his commitment to questioning assumptions and pursuing wisdom continue to inspire and challenge us today. Now we learn more. For Aristotle. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher who lived in Athens during the 4th century BCE. He is considered one of the greatest thinkers in the history of Western philosophy, and his ideas have had a significant impact on many fields of study, including ethics, metaphysics, politics, and biology. One of the most important contributions that Aristotle made to philosophy was his approach to knowledge. Unlike many of his contemporaries who believed in relying on intuition and speculation, Aristotle believed in using systematic observation and empirical data to arrive at a more accurate understanding of the world around us. This approach is known as empiricism, and it has had a profound impact on fields such as science, medicine, and psychology. Aristotle's work also had a significant impact on political theory. He believed that the ideal state was one that was ruled by a virtuous leader who could guide the citizens towards the common good. He also believed that there was an inherent hierarchy in society and that different people were suited for different roles based on their natural abilities. In addition to his work in philosophy, Aristotle also made significant contributions to the field of biology. He was one of the first people to systematically study and categorize living organisms, and his work on the classification of animals laid the foundation for modern biological classification. Despite his many contributions, Aristotle's ideas were not always accepted by his contemporaries, and he faced significant criticism and opposition during his lifetime. Nevertheless, his ideas continue to be studied and debated throughout the centuries and remain relevant to this day. In conclusion, Aristotle was a groundbreaking philosopher who revolutionized many fields of study with his ideas and approach to knowledge. His work in philosophy, politics, and biology has had a profound impact on our understanding of the world around us, and his ideas continue to be studied and debated by scholars and thinkers to this day. Now we learn more for Homer. Homer was a legendary Greek poet who lived during the 8th century BCE. He is credited with writing two of the greatest works of ancient Greek literature, the epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey. His works are regarded as some of the most influential in Western literature and have had a profound impact on the development of storytelling and literature throughout the ages. The Iliad and the Odyssey are epic poems that tell the stories of the Trojan War and the journey of the Greek hero Odysseus, respectively. These works are known for their vivid characters, memorable imagery, and powerful storytelling, and have inspired countless other works of literature throughout the centuries. Homer's works also had a significant impact on the development of Greek culture and identity. They helped to establish a shared mythology and cultural history among the Greek people, and provided a framework for understanding their place in the world. The stories and characters of the Iliad and the Odyssey continue to be studied and celebrated by scholars and readers around the world. Despite the fact that very little is known about Homer himself, his works have left an indelible mark on the world of literature and storytelling. His poetry continues to be admired and studied for its timeless themes, vivid imagery, and timeless characters. In conclusion, Homer was a legendary Greek poet who left an enduring legacy with his epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey. His works are considered among the greatest in Western literature and have had a profound impact on storytelling and literature throughout the ages. Despite the fact that very little is known about the man himself, his works continue to inspire and captivate readers and scholars around the world, making him one of the most important figures in the history of literature. Now we learn more for Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was a Macedonian king who lived during the 4th century BCE. He is regarded as one of the greatest military commanders in history, and his conquests of much of the known world at the time had a significant impact on the development of Western civilization. Alexander was born in Pella, the capital of Macedonia, in 356 BCE. He was the son of King Philip II and was educated by the philosopher Aristotle. At the age of 20, he inherited the Macedonian throne after the assassination of his father. One of Alexander's greatest achievements was his conquest of the Persian Empire. In 334 BCE, he launched a military campaign against Persia, which lasted for over a decade. He won a series of decisive battles, including the Battle of Issus and the Battle of Gaugamela, and ultimately brought down the Persian Empire. He continued to expand his empire eastward, conquering lands as far as India. In addition to his military conquests, Alexander also had a significant impact on the spread of Greek culture and ideas. He founded a number of cities, including Alexandria in Egypt, which became centers of learning and culture in the ancient world. He also encouraged the spread of Greek philosophy and religion, and his conquests helped to pave the way for the spread of Hellenistic culture throughout the Mediterranean world. Despite his many achievements, Alexander's reign was also marked by violence and brutality. He is known to have ordered the execution of thousands of people, including his own friends and advisors. His conquests also led to the spread of disease and suffering, and he died at a relatively young age, possibly as a result of the wounds he sustained in battle. In conclusion, Alexander the Great was one of the greatest military commanders in history, whose conquests had a significant impact on the development of Western civilization. His conquests of much of the known world at the time had a profound impact on the spread of Greek culture and ideas, and his legacy continues to be felt to this day. However, his reign was also marked by violence and brutality, and his conquests had significant human costs. Now we learn more for Pythagoras. Pythagoras was an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician who lived during the 6th century BCE. He is best known for his contributions to mathematics, including the development of the Pythagorean theorem, which remains one of the most famous and widely used mathematical theorems in history. Born on the island of Samos, Pythagoras spent much of his life traveling throughout Greece and beyond, spreading his ideas and establishing schools of thought. He founded a religious and philosophical movement known as Pythagoreanism, which emphasized the importance of mathematical reasoning and the pursuit of truth and knowledge. The Pythagorean theorem, which states that in a right-angled triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, is perhaps Pythagoras' most famous discovery. This theorem had profound implications for the study of geometry and trigonometry and has been used in countless applications throughout history, from architecture and engineering to astronomy and physics. Pythagoras was also interested in the study of music and believed that the relationships between musical notes could be expressed mathematically. He believed that music had the power to elevate the soul and was essential for leading a virtuous life. Pythagoras' teachings had a significant impact on the development of Western philosophy and mathematics. His emphasis on the importance of reason and the pursuit of knowledge and truth helped to lay the foundations for the development of scientific thinking in the Western world. His ideas were also influential in the development of Platonic and Aristotelian philosophy, as well as the development of the scientific method. In conclusion, Pythagoras was an important figure in the history of mathematics and philosophy, whose ideas and discoveries continue to be studied and admired to this day. His contributions to the development of the Pythagorean theorem and his emphasis on the importance of reason and the pursuit of knowledge and truth helped to lay the foundations for the development of Western scientific thinking and philosophy. Now we learn more for Herodotus. Herodotus was an ancient Greek historian who lived in the 5th century BCE and is often referred to as the father of history. His extensive work, The Histories, is considered one of the earliest and most important works of history and has had a significant impact on the way we understand the ancient world. Born in Halicarnassus, Herodotus was well-traveled and had extensive knowledge of different cultures, traditions, and political systems. His work is notable for its detailed accounts of the Greco-Persian Wars and the various cultures, peoples, and customs that he encountered during his travels. Herodotus' approach to history was revolutionary for his time. Rather than simply retelling events, he sought to understand the underlying causes and motivations of historical events. He also emphasized the importance of eyewitness testimony and first-hand accounts, interviewing numerous people and collecting information from different sources to create a comprehensive and nuanced picture of the events he was describing. Herodotus' work was not only focused on the military and political events of his time, but also explored other aspects of ancient culture, including social customs, religion, and the natural world. His work also touched on important issues such as the nature of justice and the role of fate and free will in human affairs. Despite some criticism from later historians, Herodotus' work remains an important and influential source for understanding the ancient world. His approach to history, with its emphasis on understanding the causes and motivations behind historical events, has had a significant impact on the way that history is studied and understood to this day. In conclusion, Herodotus was a pioneering figure in the field of history whose work has had a lasting impact on the way we understand the ancient world. His emphasis on understanding the causes and motivations behind historical events, as well as his focus on eyewitness testimony and first-hand accounts, helped to establish the foundations of modern historiography. Now we learn more for Euclid. Euclid was a Greek mathematician who lived in Alexandria, Egypt during the 3rd century BCE. He is often referred to as the father of geometry due to his pioneering work in the field of mathematics, particularly in the study of geometry. Euclid's most famous work is his Elements, a comprehensive treatise on geometry and mathematics that includes 13 books. The Elements is considered one of the most influential works of mathematics in history and has been used as a textbook for centuries. In it, Euclid lays out a series of axioms and definitions, upon which he builds a systematic and logical presentation of geometry. One of Euclid's most significant contributions to mathematics is his development of the concept of proof. Euclid's axiomatic approach to geometry was revolutionary for his time, and his use of rigorous proofs to demonstrate mathematical theorems has had a significant impact on the way that mathematics is studied and understood. In addition to his work on geometry, Euclid made significant contributions to other areas of mathematics, including number theory, algebra, and mathematical physics. His work in these fields helped to establish many of the fundamental principles of modern mathematics. Euclid's influence on the field of mathematics has been profound and long-lasting. His work in geometry and mathematics has provided the foundation for much of modern mathematics and has been studied and built upon for centuries. His emphasis on rigor, logical reasoning, and proof has had a significant impact on the way that mathematics is studied and understood to this day. In conclusion, Euclid was a pioneering figure in the field of mathematics, whose work in geometry and mathematics has had a profound and long-lasting impact on the way we understand the subject. His development of rigorous proof and his systematic approach to mathematics laid the foundation for much of modern mathematics, and his work remains influential and highly respected today. Now we learn more for Plato. Plato was a Greek philosopher who lived in Athens during the 5th and 4th centuries BCE. He was a student of Socrates and went on to become one of the most influential philosophers in Western thought. Plato's philosophy is wide-ranging, covering topics such as ethics, politics, metaphysics, epistemology, and aesthetics. He is perhaps best known for his theory of forms, which holds that there exists a perfect, eternal realm of abstract concepts that underlie the material world. According to Plato, the material world we see around us is merely a flawed copy of the perfect forms that exist in the realm of ideas. This theory has had a profound influence on philosophy, particularly in the fields of metaphysics and epistemology. Plato's philosophy is also notable for its emphasis on the pursuit of knowledge and the role of education in human life. He believed that true knowledge could only be attained through reason and that education was essential for the development of the individual and the state. In addition to his philosophical writings, Plato was also a prolific writer of dialogues, which are widely regarded as some of the greatest works of literature in Western thought. His dialogues often center around the figure of Socrates and the discussions he had with his fellow Athenians about the nature of knowledge, ethics, and politics. Plato's influence on philosophy and Western thought cannot be overstated. His ideas and theories continue to be studied and debated to this day, and his legacy remains a vital part of the intellectual tradition of the Western world. Now we learn more for Archimedes. Archimedes was a Greek mathematician, physicist, engineer, and inventor who lived in Syracuse, Sicily in the 3rd century BCE. He is considered one of the greatest scientists and mathematicians of all time. Archimedes made significant contributions to many fields, including mathematics, physics, and engineering. He is best known for his work on buoyancy, where he discovered the principle that an object in a fluid is buoyed up by a force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. This principle is now known as Archimedes' principle and is still used today in modern engineering. Archimedes also made important contributions to mathematics, including the discovery of the principles of statics and the calculation of the value of pi. He also developed a system for expressing large numbers and discovered the law of the lever. In addition to his scientific and mathematical contributions, Archimedes was also an inventor. He designed and built a wide range of machines, including war machines used in battles against the Romans. His inventions included the compound pulley, the hydraulic screw, and the Archimedean screw, a device used to pump water from one level to another. Archimedes' contributions to science and mathematics were groundbreaking, and his work has had a profound impact on many fields of study. His discoveries and inventions continue to be studied and built upon today, and he remains a symbol of the power of human ingenuity and innovation. Now we learn more for Sophocles. Sophocles was a Greek playwright who lived during the 5th century BCE, and is considered one of the greatest dramatists of all time. He wrote over 120 plays, but only 7 have survived to the present day, including Oedipus Rex, Antigone, and Electra. Sophocles was known for his innovative use of dramatic elements, including a 3-actor format and the use of painted scenery. He also developed complex characters and explored important themes such as fate, free will, and the nature of human suffering. Sophocles' most famous play, Oedipus Rex, tells the story of a man who unwittingly fulfills a prophecy that he will kill his father and marry his mother. This play is still performed today and has been the subject of countless adaptations and interpretations. In addition to his work as a playwright, Sophocles was also active in Athenian politics, serving as a general and a priest. He was widely respected by his peers and held in high regard by the citizens of Athens. Sophocles' contributions to Greek drama were profound, and his influence on the art form is still felt today. His plays continue to be studied and performed around the world, and his ideas about the nature of human experience and the role of fate and free will remain relevant to contemporary audiences. That's all. Thanks for listening, and we hope to subscribe.